We are sending tens of thousands of cold emails each month, and at that volume, you'd think we're landing in spam. But that's not the case. Our email infrastructure consistently delivers all of our emails to prospects' actual inboxes. And the way I do this isn't from some new flashy tactic I invented or anything like that. It simply comes down to setting up your entire cold email infrastructure the right way. That's why today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that, covering everything I'm doing that allows me to send the amount of emails I do without going to spam, and I'll share how you can copy the system. So let's dive in. What breaks when you scale volume? So the core issue with volume is that it forces email providers to pay close attention to you. When you're sending low volume, you're basically under the radar. So providers aren't watching what's coming out of your domain. But once you start scaling up, that changes. Email service providers start actively looking at your sending patterns, and more importantly, they're looking at how people are responding to what you're sending. Specifically, they're tracking things like how many emails are leaving a single domain in a given window, what percentage of those emails are bouncing, and how many recipients are hitting the spam button. And a high sending volume from one domain in a short window reads as automated bulk sending, which is the exact behavior providers are trained to catch and eliminate. A bounce rate above 1% is enough to get your sender score pulled down across the board, meaning even your best emails stop reaching inboxes. And spam complaints are arguably the worst of the three because they're a direct signal to providers that your outreach is unwanted. Even a small percentage of those compounds really fast, and it doesn't take much to start doing real damage to your reputation. This is very dangerous when you're sending cold emails because your primary domain takes all that damage. Your primary domain is the one tied to your website, your business email, your customer relationships, and everything runs through it. So when it gets flagged, it's not just your cold outreach that suffers. Your entire sending reputation takes a hit. Sales, follow-ups, client emails, invoices, all of that starts landing in spam. And once a domain reputation is gone, recovering it is a long and painful process. Most of the time, it's better to just start over. So the whole system I'm about to walk you through comes back to one thing: protecting your reputation by spreading the risk. Instead of concentrating everything on one domain, you distribute volume across many. That way, no single domain is ever carrying enough weight to trigger those flags. And if something does go wrong on one of them, the rest of your sending is completely unaffected. So that's the foundation of everything else we're going to cover: the domain and inbox setup. So let's start with your domain and inbox setup. For this, we're going to be using Salesforge, because it eliminates the need to create domains and mailboxes yourself. Basically, you're skipping all the DNS record setup, all the verification, and instead of spending hours on setting up infrastructure, you spend like 5 minutes. So let me show you how to actually do all of that. First, we'll need to set up the domains. The reason we're getting secondary domains, basically not using our primary domain, the domain you use for your website and emails, is because we want to diversify and eliminate the risk of burning our main domain. We'll be using secondary domains, so if anything goes wrong, we're good to go. We can send more emails through other domains and our website isn't broken. So here's how you get extra domains, right? In the Salesforge, you go to the domains tab, you click create domains, and you'll be able to input your primary domain right here. This is your website domain, your main one, right? So for example, it could be infraforge.ai. You select how many domains you want and you click generate domains. And here you go, just in a few seconds, it created secondary domains that we can use that will redirect to our main domain. Meaning if you visit reachinfraforge.com, you'll end up on infraforge.ai. So you click next, here you input the domain you want to forward to. You then click continue, you add your contact details, you check out, and you'll have your domains ready. And these domains are related to your brand but are completely separated from it. So if one gets flagged, it stays isolated and your main domain is untouched. Within each of those domains, you set up multiple inboxes because you're not sending hundreds of emails per day from a single inbox. If you do that, you're going to get flagged. So you're spreading the volume across many inboxes, sending a few dozen per inbox per day, and distributing that throughout the whole day with no spikes. The reason this works is because email providers are pattern matching for abnormal behavior. A real person doesn't fire 500 emails from one inbox before noon, but a real sales team sending dozens of emails spread across many inboxes over a full day looks completely normal. And that's exactly what you're replicating at scale. For the best results, you want to have 2 to 3 mailboxes per domain and send no more than 20 to 30 cold emails per mailbox per day. If you want to figure out how many domains and mailboxes you need to reach a certain amount of contacts every single month, just go to the InfoForge mailbox calculator. Here you'll be able to select how many emails you want to send to each contact. What I do is one initial email and 2 follow-ups. How many mailboxes per domain you want to have, let's say 3, and how many contacts per month you want to process. So let's say 10,000. This means you'll need 17 domains and 50 mailboxes to reach out to 10,000 contacts per month, following the best cold email sending practices. But of course, setting all of this up manually across dozens of domains and inboxes is a big project. That's a big part of why we built Salesforge. Within the Forge stack, there's a tool called InfoForge that we used previously. It's similar to MailForge and PrimeForge. It handles our infrastructure and helps you set up domains and mailboxes in minutes. So in InfoForge or MailForge or PrimeForge, whichever you're using, the setup is similar. Just go to mailboxes after you bought the domains. Once you do that, you'll be able to create mailboxes in seconds. Just click create mailboxes, click auto generate mailboxes, select the domains you want to generate them mailboxes on, let's say these 4, select the number of mailboxes per domain, click next, select the name types. You can do random ones or you can create your own, right? Click next and add signature and forwarding email if needed. And just after these 3 steps, you'll have all of your mailboxes ready to use. Right? The DNS records and inboxes are set up following the best email sending practices, and you're paying a fraction of what you would pay to Gmail or Outlook. And you of course save hours in manual setup. Now it doesn't matter which tool you use, but I recommend spreading your infrastructure across different types. So InfoForge is private infrastructure, MailForge is shared infrastructure, and PrimeForge provides you with Google and Outlook mailboxes, Microsoft 365 mailboxes, set up for cold email for a fraction of the cost. So for the best results and the least amount of risk possible, you should diversify across these 3 platforms. And if at any point you want to try this yourself, you can check out the Forge stack for free. It will be the first link in the description. Warming up, validating, and sending rules. Now before a single cold email goes out, 2 things have to happen: warm up and list validation. Warm up comes first. A brand new inbox with 0 sending history looks suspicious to providers. You can't just flip it on and start sending at volume. You have to build a sending reputation first, which means starting low, letting the inbox exchange real activity, and ramping up gradually. And it needs to stay on the entire time you're running campaigns. It's not something you do once at setup and then forget about it. No, warm up should be always on. Of course, you're not going to be warming up your accounts manually. What you want to do is actually use WarmForge. Now, if you're a user of Salesforge, you'll be able to use WarmForge for completely free. But if not, you can just grab a plan and warm up your accounts automatically that way. Now, Forge makes this super easy. All you need to do is select the mailboxes we created previously and just export them to WarmForge. Select the workspace you want and export to WarmForge account. Now click here and go to WarmForge. Here you go. As you can see, all of our accounts are being warmed up. Here you'll see their heat score, meaning how warmed up they are. You'll see all of the emails being sent, opened, replied. You'll see health checks, DNS records, blacklists, setting, signature, and all of that stuff, so you can manage and see if any mailboxes are having issues. This is your infrastructure health right here. You get an overview of everything, how it's doing, when mailboxes are ready to be used to send out cold emails, and all of that stuff. If you ever see any issues with health checks, warm up, blacklist, whatever, just take out the mailbox out of the pool, out of the sending pool, and either fix the issue or replace it with a brand new mailbox. List validation is the other thing people skip way more than they should. Invalid email addresses that don't exist or that bounce destroy your deliverability, and a bounce rate above 1% is enough to drag your sender score down across the board. So this isn't something to take lightly. If you use something like Salesforge, when you add contacts to a sequence, there's a built-in validation step. Do not skip it. In Salesforge, when you create a new sequence and add contacts, you'll be able to validate them. Let me show you how that looks like. Let's select a few contacts. As you can see, some of them were previously validated, so we already know their status. You click Add Contacts and press Start Validation Process. It will check if the email address is valid, is it catch all, is it safe to reach out to. So once the leads are done being validated, select only the safe ones, keep invalid disabled, unvalidated unchecked, and only reach out to safe leads. As you can see, it filtered out disabled, unknown, and invalid mailboxes, which means it saved us from reaching out to an invalid mailbox, which would be a huge automation signal to email service providers, and it would tell them, hey, this person is automating, they're reaching out to mailboxes that don't exist. You'll just click next and you'll have only leads that are safe to reach out to. As for the actual sending rules, stick to the recommending sending limits. Going over them is one of the fastest ways to start drifting into spam. Few things you should keep in mind is the daily sending limit that I mentioned previously. That is 20 to 30 cold email outreaches per mailbox per day. If you do more than that, you're risking the reputation of your mailboxes. Another thing you need to keep in mind is to send out emails throughout the day. Instead of sending all emails at once in bulk, you send a couple of emails every hour, every half hour, basically adding natural spacing between emails sent. Because if you send emails in bulk, that looks automated. That's not natural. No one does that. And that raises suspicion for email service providers. Luckily, Salesforge already automates random sending times for you, so you don't need to do anything if you're using Salesforge. If you're using any other software, you might need to do this manually. And another thing is to use mailbox rotation, meaning for each sequence, you're spreading all emails across all the mailboxes you connected to that sequence. This spreads the risk and load across all of your infrastructure instead of stressing one mailbox and one domain to the maximum. This is also automatically done via Salesforge. So if you want to try it out, you know where to look. Basically, you want to do everything to look as natural as possible so that email service providers see your mailboxes, see your sending, and they think that's a real person writing and sending emails. Now, how to run this at scale? At tens of thousands of emails per month, managing all of this while keeping emails personalized is a real problem. You can have great infrastructure and still get ignored because your emails read like a template. And you can have a great copy and still go to spam because your setup is wrong. The two have to work together. And that's exactly what Salesforge is built to handle. On the personalization side, today you can't just swap in a first name and call it done. What you need to do instead is use full email personalization. You can do that within Salesforge by clicking Generate with AI. It will ask you to set up a fallback template, basically an email that's being sent if AI doesn't have enough information to write the email. But once that's done, you'll be able to set up AI-generated emails. And these aren't simple compliments that just congratulate the person you're reaching out to for working at their company. No, these AI-generated emails use information of your prospect's LinkedIn profile, their website and product, together with the information about your product that you set up in Salesforge. Meaning, it knows exactly which pain point, what problem the prospect has, and it positions your product as a solution to that problem. Let me just stop talking and show you how it actually works. So, you select what source of information you want to use, LinkedIn profile, website, or both. Select the tonality, select dynamic languages to send outreach in your prospect's language, which not only increases reply rate, it also increases deliverability, and you click next. As you can see, this email written for Frank Saunders is completely AI. It figured out that Frank is in sales and he drinks a lot of coffee, so it mentioned coffee and a leaky mug. It mentioned my product that I have set up in Salesforge and positioned it to solve his problems. And it will do this for each recipient, and it will be unique for each recipient. Now, what you can do in the builder is actually test this completely AI written email versus another variant. Perhaps you just want to use your own template and input an icebreaker, AI written icebreaker, meaning this first sentence will be AI, but the rest of the email can be your template. And you can add another variant, as many as you want, for example, with no AI at all, your full template, and you can test this and see what works better. You can test as many variants as you want, AI generated versus templated, different tones, different angles, whatever you want. This way, you let that data tell you what's working instead of guessing yourself. And because Salesforge connects directly to InfraForge, MailForge, PrimeForge, and WarmForge, the whole stack works together. Previously, all we needed to connect our created mailboxes to Salesforge is just to export them to Salesforge. The same goes for WarmForge. Everything we created is managed in one stack. The mailboxes I created in InfraForge are connected to Salesforge for sending, are connected to WarmForge for warmup, and all the leads that I have can be quickly found and then imported from the app LeadsForge. So you're not batching together 5 disconnected tools and trying to get them all to communicate with each other. There's also an ESP filtering feature that lets you filter contacts by their email service provider. This is done when you validate the leads. As you can see, it figured out what kind of email provider is used for this mailbox. For this one it's Google Workspace, this one it's Microsoft, and you can toggle on emails ESP matching on Salesforge to get even higher deliverability. So you're only reaching out to Google Workspace accounts with your own Google infrastructure, to Microsoft accounts with your own Microsoft infrastructure, and other accounts with your whole infrastructure. That way, if certain inbox types are causing trouble, you can pull them out and focus on the ones with cleaner deliverability potential. So this is the whole playbook. Secondary domains, distributed inboxes, warm-up that stays on, validated lists, clean sending rules, and a system that keeps everything running at a scale without your deliverability taking a hit. If you want to run this yourself, go try Salesforge for free by clicking the link in the description. You can get your infrastructure and your sending live in a matter of minutes. And once you're in, the whole system, the domains, the warm-up, the validation, it all lives in one place. So you're not jumping between a bunch of different tools to keep everything running. And that makes it so much easier to scale. Again, you'll be able to try it for free by clicking the first link in the description below. And if you want to learn how to use Cloud Call Work to generate unlimited leads, then check out this video next.